So alongside Peter Caulfield here, the man that started the Glasgow City 12 in a row as it is now, hopefully could be 13 later on in 2019. How do you feel being the man that started that, and looking back now, would you ever have thought we'd be reaching these into the almost the teens of titles in a row when you got the first?
No, I don't think you ever think that, really. Every title in itself is really difficult to win. Getting the first one was great, and moving on from that and getting to 5, but I don't think you ever really think that you're going to get as far as the club has got now. However, I do recall a kind of meeting at the time where we were looking at Arsenal and the model down there in England, how successful they were, and our thought was that we need to try and be more professional and become like the kind of the Arsenal of the North and try and emulate what they've been doing down there. It's gone that way, and we've probably surpassed now the amount of titles that Arsenal won in a row. So, the club's done fantastically well over that period of time. It's really difficult to win any title, and to do it 12 times in a row and be pushing now for a 13th is just amazing, actually.
Yeah, and we're filming this here in Moscow on the eve of the first leg of the Champions League. You took charge of the first ever time Glasgow City were in Europe, as it was the Women's Cup then. What difference do you see from then to now?
Oh, well, huge differences, in all honesty. Looking back then, we were very ill prepared for European football. We didn't know what lay in store for us. Didn't have the kind of, I know it's difficult sometimes to get information in teams, but didn't have the kind of exposure of potential opponents that we maybe do have now, so you can prepare in advance. So you were getting into things really blind and in the dark, and you prepare your team as best you can to go into those tournaments. But it was really difficult, and it was very much an eye opener in those days. But I think the club over the years have come to terms with that, and they've found their place in the Champions League, and some better years and some more difficult years. But I think they cope with it well in general now. But certainly it's changed a lot. In terms of the players going back then, obviously it was very much an amateur game. The players didn't train nearly as much. So in that respect, even the players were ill prepared for this level of competition. But I think now they're much more able to cope.
And how proud must it be when you look back at, obviously you signed Leanne Ross, very young Lee Alexander back then, seeing them now, Lee Alexander obviously playing at the World Cup as well. How proud does that make you feel to see the development they've done?
I think it's fabulous. Obviously you've got a small element of pride, but I don't really feel that as much as just I'm kind of in awe of how the players have developed from the young females, the young girls that they were then, into well-rounded women who are playing at a very high standard at the very top level of the game. And it's not really satisfying for me. I think it's a sense of pride that they've been able to do that on their own. They need to push themselves each day. They need to work hard each day to reach that level of achievement. And there's no question that they've done that. But yeah, it's always good to look back on that and think that there was very small beginnings, and it's great to be back now and just see what accustomed footballers and young women have become.
Yeah, as you say, you're back involved now. How nice is it to be back involved after a few years away, to be back involved at City?
It is very nice, actually. When I got the call from Laura Montgomery, I was a wee bit kind of betwixt and between about whether I wanted to get back in football at all, never mind back at Glasgow City. But we sat down for a bit and had some conversations with Laura and Caroline and myself, and they put a few things to me that I thought were quite interesting, and it kind of suited me in terms of where I am now, I think, in my life. So it was really, I'm really enjoying being back, and it's been a bit of an eye opener, but I'm really enjoying it, and it's a good new challenge for me, I think.
And what do you see for City in general, the future of where we're going, and what do you think the future holds for us?
I think the future is really bright, because I can see the people that are working here in the background, and the drive and determination and motivation that they have to continue to push the club forward, to continue to succeed and deal with new challenges head on. And that's really what I'm excited about, being a part of that. I'm obviously not involved in the kind of football management or coaching side now, but there's so much more going on off the field, and I think that's really exciting, really challenging, and I'm looking forward to getting involved in that and hopefully helping the club take another step forward again.
Okay, thank you very much, Peter.
You're welcome. Thanks.